used here?
Okay. Unwanted and underused. So the difference here is, so something that you own that you don't want or never wanted, or you decided you didn't want, but also underused. It might be something that you own that you use less than you maybe would like, or then make it make sense to keep it. So you don't want to keep something if you hardly ever use it, even if you like it. Like, let's say my partner bought a bicycle and she's only ridden it 3 times and she's had it for 2 years. It's not that it's unwanted. She wants it, but she never uses it. So it's underused. I think they must be talking about individual or sole traders. So people who, instead of working as a business, having an official status where they're registered as a business, they just sell things person to person. So I think it's about a legal status that someone might have. And I think they're talking about that is health profession services, professional health services, but I think that's closer to what they mean. So I think in the sample, they're talking about people who are buying and selling things, especially over the internet, who aren't actually businesses. They're not working or trading as a business. They're just like going on eBay and selling one thing, or going onto a community forum and saying, "Oh, I've got this table for sale. It's too big for our apartment."
Or maybe they go to the dark web and without any registration. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be an even better way of remaining unregulated, because if you were on eBay and you started selling lots and lots of things, eventually the tax office would notice that your income was really high, and you hadn't put in a tax return. But if you go to the dark web and then you have all of your money in cryptocurrency, you might be able to keep it even more unregulated.
Yeah, exactly. Great.
But I guess they're implying that because they're not working as a business, that they might not. You're right. Eventually, no one will work with that. It will take that person's goods and services. But if they're not operating in a visible way as a business, then that person could sell something and then disappear. And then they come back and pretend to be someone else and sell something and then disappear. So it could be a way for people to sell things that it would be illegal or dangerous to sell. Like a faulty, maybe someone shows up on your social media and says, "Hey, I see you like e-bikes. I've got these batteries, half price." And then they sell it to you, you get it, and then
They disappear.
It starts a fire and you can never find that person again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of like saying, even though that's the case, this is also the case. So
so we can use even though here instead of this.
It doesn't quite work with so you would need to have a slightly different construction. You might say, even though unregulated individuals do not have to follow regulations, and this can lead to poorer quality, in a consumerist society, the increased opportunities to sell. So you could use even though or although to create a long concessional sentence that had more or less the same meaning, but nevertheless allows us to manage that shift from one sentence to another by indicating the logical relationship where, even though we've just told you about this negative thing, nevertheless, here's this positive thing. or here's where we would like to conclude our thinking. Yeah, I don't know what substitution you could make, but you'd have to put it in front of the first sentence and then combine them. You could say however, although that's more often a way of indicating an exception rather than
opposite
yeah. So what you're doing when you say nevertheless
contradiction. Yeah.
is you're saying that what I've just told you is true, but there's this more fundamental truth that is this one. So what I just told you is true, but this kind of contradicts it and it's more fundamental. It's not pure contradiction, but it is a contrast.
Yeah. Great.
Regardless.
Regardless, instead of this.
Yeah. Or nonetheless.
Nonetheless.
You could also say however.
However, okay, these three options. Great.
Some people might use on the other hand.
On the other hand.
So you're implying that there are two different possibilities.
But
so here's one and here's another. So you can still use it even without the first, as long as logically it kind of changes the meaning of what you've just told them.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out they thought they were learning about something that was just by itself, but then as they keep reading, they realize there's actually these two possibilities.
Right.
And nevertheless kind of does that as well. It retrospectively changes what came before it. It says that's true, but this is more true.
Which one do you prefer?
I think here, nevertheless or nonetheless, would work well. Yeah, I think it does work. Yeah.